Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about a particular type of sandal that was popular on the coast of East Africa. But first, I want to take a step back and talk a little bit about the humanities. So art history is situated in the humanities, which is largely broken up into area studies disciplines. So thinking about sub-Saharan Africa as a unit of study, or Europe, or Asia, or North Africa and the Middle East. And what's important to remember is that these are much more than just geographic boundaries, but they're also racial boundaries. And so if you think about North Africa and sub-Saharan Africa in geographic terms, they could be very easily put into the same unit, but because one is dominantly Arab and one is dominantly Black African, that they get kind of parceled out into separate units. And so how I see my research fitting into these studies, or this conversation, is by kind of breaking down some of these boundaries and thinking about cross-cultural interactions. And so in come my sandals, as I like to call them, which were popular on the East African coast, so an example of which is found on the upper right-hand side. And the style of these type of sandals is typically kind of noted for this platform base and peg at the front to which you would grip between your big and second toes. And the form actually originates from India and was brought over to East Africa sometime between the 17th and 19th centuries. And in India, where it was previously associated with Hindu deities, it now becomes associated with asserting class status in East Africa. And so it becomes associated with asserting class status, particularly because it comes from somewhere else. And so it allows the upper class to really be able to say that I can connect with elsewhere, that they see themselves connecting to either a real or an imagined elsewhere. And so in doing this, you can see that people are envisioning themselves as more than just located in one particular place. They're connecting much more broadly to kind of global systems of trade. And so in a way, these sandals can really be seen as surpassing some of these standard geographic boundaries that would separate India and East Africa from each other. Instead, they're showing how people were always imagining themselves much more than just as a particular race, or a particular place, but always attached to broader systems. Thank you very much.